No, they're not flexible.
Just buying credit.
There is a balance. There's a balance between believing in God and acting upon His teachings, and there's a balance between that concept and
Reward and
expecting reward in return. Okay, so God tells us, you do it because I am telling you to do it, but at the same time you will get this reward.
Okay.
Simple. So it's a reward. It's like a child. You tell a child, you do this, you'll get that. Okay, if you behave yourself today, you'll get a chocolate, or we'll buy you a cake or an ice cream. That's.
But I like to teach my children to be kind for the sake of being kind, not because they get rewarded.
That's a very noble teaching. But if your children grow up to be non-believers in God, and when they think about it, when it comes down to it, God doesn't exist, why do I have to do anything? I'm just a biological animal, and I'm just a collection of molecules. I don't need to do anything. I just live my life. I don't need to.
Don't you think the religious belief?
Let me very quick. Why I belief in God leads to charitable acts and more generosity than not.
I
Why?
agree with you.
Yeah. You agree with me?
No, I agree with you. I also think religiousness belief leads to separation, violence, hatred, racism. You know, I'm from the Jewish tradition, right? And I see a lot of my fellow Jews, looking down on people who are not Jewish, feeling superior to them, and then some of them are violent and they fight people because they feel enmity towards them. They look in their scriptures and they see a God who expresses anger through violence in the Bible. I see the same thing with Islam, where the Quran has expressions of the divine. Using violence to enforce faith, right? And so, whilst I agree with you that there is a lot more charity in the believers, there's also a lot more coercion, a lot less freedom, a lot of anger, a lot of hatred. Also comes out of religion.
All the things you have mentioned, you have made valid points. You made a very reasonable point that there are religious people who have done those things, but it has more to do with people than the religion itself. No religion, including Judaism, Islam and Christianity, teach violence against innocent people or oppression. Okay, which one?
So
which religion teaches that?
Well, if you take Judaism, because that's the religion I grew up, I'm an Orthodox Jew, right? And I read the Torah every week, the Hebrew Bible. Yes, the Hebrew Bible teaches that the Jewish notion, the Hebraic notion of the divine, right, is
exclusive.
Is violently angry. Forget about exclusivity. It's violently angry. So prohibition, even the Sabbath, which is just a day of rest, right? If you breach the Sabbath, it's punishable by capital punishment. That's
between
to death.
That's between God and the Jewish people.
No, the Jewish people are supposed to stone their fellow Jewish people if they break the Sabbath. It says you shall stone them to death. Now, Jews don't generally stone people to death anymore.
Yes.
But the depiction of the punishment is stoning by death.
Okay.
And it comes from the divine. Okay. So the divine is depicted as a violent, thuggish, angry, very unforgiving, slightly crazed being, right?
While what you say may be true, but that cannot represent all Jewish people and their understanding of God, because Jews also believe that God is merciful, He is generous, He is violent. There is that goes for any philosophy of law. What you just mentioned there, a threat of violence from authority, goes
fine for breaking the Sabbath, or for blaspheming.
Look,
like I understand if someone murders someone, we should use violence to prevent them murdering another person.
Let me quickly explain.
If I don't believe in what you believe, so good, they're your problem.
Okay.
Why should I hurt them?
Do you believe people walking around topless women should be punished?
No.
But they get punished in this law.
Well, they shouldn't be.
Well,
good luck to them.
I can ask the same question now. Are you being punished for being topless? You just take your T-shirt off and you're going to be punished in Britain?
Yeah, I think you should.
Well, that's the law.
I know.
That's the law. So societies.
And there are societies where you are allowed to walk around naked.
Yes, I know.
But then they walk around topless. It's perfectly fine.
No, not because of the law. Because that's the culture, and the law is not applied there. In African societies,
the bad law here. I think we should have the African law.
No. Do you have an example of any good law in human history? Any perfect law?
Loads of fantastic laws.
For example,
religious laws.
For example,
I think if you
Ali, give me an example of a legal
kill
system.
someone, you rape someone, you steal from someone, then you have a legal system that involves violence if they don't, keep the law.
Well, that's religious
fine.
law. That's Islamic law.
No, but I understand. But
You kill someone, you rape someone, you steal from
But
someone,
what happens if
you get money.
blaspheme in Islamic law?
Right, that's a very good question now. Now, is the concept of blasphemy peculiar with Islam?
No, I'm talking. It's also in Judaism, in the Torah.
No, it's
problematic across the gamut for me.
No,
I don't care.
no.
I mean, Islam is
Every human society
What-
believes in it.
Atheistic society kills blasphemy.
Yes, yes,
Which one? Where?
yes.
Where?
Okay.
Which law?
First of
in
all,
this country, there's no blasphemy.
Let me
law.
explain.
I can believe anything.
Sorry,
I
let me
like.
explain. Let me explain. Let's say we have an atheistic society today. Atheists come to power
Right.
by whatever conception they have of atheism
Right.
in Britain,
Yeah.
and they start to govern. The
Okay.
president or the prime minister is an atheist, the military is an atheist, the generals are atheists, the press is an atheist establishment,
Okay.
and then they have to now apply the law,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Will that society allow absolute freedom of speech? Very specific question and very specifically worded. Answer my question specifically. Will that atheistic society, an absolutely atheistic society,
No, there'll be exceptions. For example.
Thank you.
Hang on, I haven't finished.
These
yet.
are the exceptions we call blasphemy law.
No, not for blasphemy, not because of belief. The only thing you can't say in a society with free speech is harassment, where you're harming someone else deliberately, or where you're shouting there's a fire and people get trampled on and die.
How about
That's gonna be
spreading
a-
hate against a particular group of people in an atheistic society? Would that be allowed? If someone wants to
What do
mock,
you mean spreading
if someone
hate?
wants to mock the Jewish people
They
in an
should be-
atheist,
They should be allowed to, in my opinion.
they should be.
Yes.
They should.
People
And if
mock
that,
me as a Jew all the time, and I couldn't
It's
give
wrong.
a monkey.
It's wrong.
I
It's
don't
wrong.
think they should be allowed to.
you are
We
one
should
person.
Knock them back.
Let's talk to the Jewish community. They will tell you
Yeah.
that when you allow people to be mocked, or when you allow people to mock,
Yeah.
what follows is a genocide. Let me give you examples.
Yeah.
How do genocides happen? Every genocide, every massacre in human history
Yeah.
has dehumanization behind it.
I appreciate that. I agree with you
Okay,
100%.
how does dehumanization take place? By demonization. So
Yeah,
when
I
you
agree with
demonize
you.
the people, you dehumanize them.
Okay.
And when you dehumanize them, you take the value away from them. And when the value has been taken away from them, then it is easy to kill them. Like what's happening to
100%.
Muslims today.
I 100%.
Like what happened to the Jewish people in the 40s in Germany. Right. We're having a decent discussion here, sir. We're having a decent discussion here.
I 100% agree with you that dehumanization leads to genocide.
So blasphemy.
No, blasphemy.
Let's talk about it.
Blasphemy
Let's talk about it.
Is about
It's all-
specifically
it's
about
the
blasphemy is
question-
specifically about me
The question-
standing up in society and saying that I do not believe in God or a religion or your idea of religion or God. And that should be in Pakistan. You can get killed for that.
Okay, that's not true, by the way. First of all, I'm from Pakistan. You have a misconception. I live in Pakistan. Very often I go there. My parents are there. So no.
So if I go to Pakistan tomorrow
Yeah.
and I stand up with a t-shirt and I
Yeah.
say, I love humanity, but I don't believe that Allah exists, yes, and I give out leaflets saying, I'd like to share my beliefs with you, nothing will happen to me.
No. I'm telling you, people are doing that already in Pakistan.
Right.
People are
What about this
already
case?
saying these things. Yes, if you insult the Prophet of Islam, if you insult God, if you insult Moses, if you insult Jesus, there are penalties. The law of Pakistan does not allow it. Likewise, in Britain, there are certain things you cannot
Like
say.
what?
Wait,
What can I not
like
say
for
in
example,
Britain,
if you criticize homosexuality, if you say homosexuality is wait. If you say homosexuality is X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
you will be taken.
Rubbish.
Okay, wait.
Rubbish.
Okay.
I'll say it right here.
No.
I'll
I don't want you to say it. Not
I
with
don't
me.
believe it.
Not with
Like-
me. I don't condone this behavior. But anyway, if you criticize the Jewish people, it is illegal.
I think it's a problem.
It is anti-Semitism. No, that's a good law.
I think it's a
believe that's a
rubbish
good
law.
law.
I'm Jewish.
I defend that law.
If people,
That's a good law.
If people want to spread hate against Jews or Muslims or any homosexuals,
They should be allowed to do it?
They should be allowed to do it in public, and we should.
Then
we
you
should
want
come to them.
the Jewish people to suffer again?
They shouldn't suffer. They should say he's.
Well, Hitler was doing the same thing.
No, excuse me. Right, Hitler was using violence.
And where did that violence come from?
It came-
Where
it
did
came
the
from
intellect?
using guns
Where
and batons and
look,
knives,
every act of
smashing
violence,
things up.
every Nazism was an ideology. Every ideology has an intellectual impetus. Do you agree?
appreciate that, yes.
Intellectual impetus is provided by philosophers, thinkers, or speakers, right? In that case, in Germany, the Jewish people were heavily demonized,
You're right.
and by extension, consequently dehumanized, and that led to the Holocaust.
Yes, but you're
wait.
missing out on
I'm making a
detail
point. Why do we have freedom of speech laws, and why do we have hate speech laws? Why do we have them? We have them in every single human society. Why?
We don't have them in America.
Hate speech laws? Okay.
Hate speech laws.
Seriously.
There's only incitement to violence, right?
Which is hate speech.
Well, it's not. It's
Well, it is.
incitement to
You're
violence. It's a
still-
very specific type
Okay.
of hate speech.
Okay.
If I say to you,
So
in
there's no
public,
absolute
let's
face-
go and kill these people, yes, then before you do it, I can stop you and say you're breaking the law.
What's your name?
But if I, Jonathan,
Jonathan.
yeah. What's your name?
Can you? Thank you. Thank you.
What's your name?
Is the Adnan?
Adnan.
Is there a society on the planet
Yes.
today
Yeah.
where you have absolute freedom of speech, where you can open your mouth and say what you want?